Hello, everybody. Today is Tuesday, 29th July, and in my part of the world, it is 3:35 p.m. Apologies for my appearance. It started out chilly and, overcast, but then it got hot. I've changed tops twice. I keep redoing my hair because it keeps sorting out. And then I decided, sod it. I'm just going to make myself a cold glass of Prosecco and work on my next video because it's something that means I can just be still and cool down a bit. I actually walked into town earlier because I had to get a few bits and bobs. So since it was hot out and I was walking, that made me all sweaty and yucky again. So from the moment YouTube hit the scene, I fell in love with it. I was totally, fascinated by it. And I really fell in love with it in 2020 during the big lockdown. Having spent a lot of time prior to lockdown, watching Prime and Roku channel and Disney and Netflix, YouTube afforded me an opportunity to watch something different, see what was there. So, what follows is a list of the channels I like to watch the most on YouTube. It is not rated in order of 10th favorite to first favorite because I just jump around from one to one, one channel to the other. So, however, I didn't rate it I listed them in alphabetical order. So, first on the list is 48 Hours. They have a new season. If you're American, you'll be well familiar with 48 Hours. I absolutely love true crime stories. And I was watching it yesterday, and they actually did a follow up on a crime from 1981, the murder of Ken Rex McElroy, which was never ever solved. And they made a movie about it too, called In Broad Daylight, starring Brian Dennehy. So they went back to the town to see what it was like 40 years later. And the people of the town are still keeping the secret. Everybody in the town was there when the guy was murdered, but since he was the town's bully, and he had been bullying. It was a small town at the time. There were only like 400 people living there. He had been bullying his neighbors for years, shooting at them, threatening to rape their wives. He had a very long rap sheet. Anyway, the police were even scared of him. He was never arrested for anything. Long story short, one day, the townspeople got together and they ambushed him and they killed him. And when the police came in, everybody in town said, nope, didn't see nothing. So that's 48 Hours. It was, I was happy to have stumbled on that yesterday. Second on the list is a channel called Alter, Alter, ER, not AR, like a church altar. This channel does shorts. They're shorts done by ordinary people, but they all have a focus on, shall we say, the paranormal or the supernatural, which fascinates me. And I like it because most of the videos, none of them are longer than 30 minutes long. So on days when my attention span feels short, it's a nice thing to watch. Plus, I'm interested in the supernatural and all of that stuff. Number 3 is Benji Plant. All one word. Benji, the name, and plant, like a plant. This is a kid. He lives somewhere in California. And he's been His favorite thing is plants, so that's how he got started. But he's expanded. He's been around for a while. He was actually caught in the LA fires at the in January of this year. So what he's been documenting lately on his channel is the move from his house where he lived with his partner Chris. Um, they lost everything, so him and Chris are now. They found an apartment to rent, and what's really touching is that a lot of his fans, they sent him stuff. They sent him money. They sent him plant cuttings, all kinds of stuff. So Benji is a second generation Vietnamese American, and I really like his videos, and I like watching him rebuild his life. He remains so positive. I'd have been devastated if I had lost everything in a fire. Number 4 on the list is called Black Tree TV. They show nothing but black movies, old classic ones. I mean, as far back as, the 40s, like Pinky with Gene Crane. And it's brilliant. The only thing that I hate is before you watch the movie, you have to listen to them sing the Black Tree TV theme song, which gets kind of annoying after a while. But it's a good channel if you're in the mood for classic black cinema. Number 5 on my list is the Dana Solra twins. They're in Japan somewhere. I forget where at the moment. She and her husband just became first-time parents, and they had twin girls, and they do videos of just daily life with the twins. And because I like seeing, how other people live their lives and their daily routines and stuff, and I like babies, I like this. It's very calming and soothing to watch. And as the twins get bigger, they just turned 2, they're more interesting. So I watch that a great deal. Number 6 comes from Vietnam, and it's called Leaving City. And I guess you could properly call this like a home renovation thing. It's about kids, Vietnamese kids, who leave the city and they return to the countryside where they buy old derelict properties, or in some cases, they inherit a derelict property. And they just clear it out and totally revamp it. These videos are sometimes long, but I don't mind. I like the music in the background. Sometimes they're subtitled, sometimes they're not. But I'm interested in, stuff like that. I like to watch people redo a room or revamp a house. So that's Leaving City. Next on the list, and I have a lot of friends who are fascinated by tiny houses. So my next favorite YouTube channel to watch is called Living Big in a Tiny House, and it's hosted by this charming Australian guy named Bryce. I love, love, love tiny houses. I love tiny spaces. Every time I take a walk around Dundee, every time, whether I'm just, running an errand or just walking for exercise, I look at lots, that are empty and think I could put a tiny house there. I would love to do that. It's nice to see too, he always, when he interviews the people, he doesn't just show the tiny house, he asks them about what led them to think about tiny house living in the first place. And the number of people who say the same thing, they just didn't feel like they belonged where they were, and they just wanted to live smaller and downsize and have more free time, is amazing. Anyway, it's a really cool show to watch, and the best ones are the ones where there's a lot of millennials who have gotten into the tiny house movement, and the best ones are where they go out with their dad or their mom and they get all recycled materials and build their own tiny house. That's cool. Again, in keeping with my decor, my love of watching people decorate things and stuff. Number 8 on the list is called Never Too Small, and this roams all over the globe. It's a collection of architects, from countries all over the world who design small apartments. Paris and Germany and the UK and Japan and all kinds of countries, there's a housing crisis globally, and the spaces are getting smaller. So the architects, they've got like a consortium, is that the word I want? And they just go all over the globe and they design perfect tiny spaces. I love it. I'm obsessed by tiny spaces, and I'm actually quite good with them, as my friends will attest to, because I've lived in some small spaces before. Number 9 on the list is Samurai Daddy. He lives in Osaka, Japan. He is subtitled, and this guy, he's documenting the breakup of his marriage. He's a salaryman, as they're known in Japan. He has a wife and a child, one son. They never appear on camera, and he's going through the process of, divorce and everything. And he just documents his daily life, and he talks about what he's feeling. And it's interesting to me because typically men, they don't talk about their emotions, but this guy does. And something else he talks about is why nobody should ever move to Japan, which I was surprised to hear. It's not going to stop me from visiting it, but it's a good channel to watch. It's interesting. And the last thing on my list, if I had to say number 1, it would be this channel. It's called Wang's Record. There's a guy named Wang, obviously. It's his surname, his family name. And there's no talking in this video, very seldom subtitles. And all he does is walk all over China and film, what he sees, the streets, the building, the alleyways. Right now, he's in the mountains of China, filming rural communities. And I absolutely love it because I like people watching. And it's funny because sometimes the people will be amenable to being filmed, and sometimes they look at him with suspicion. But mostly, they just let him go on ahead and do it. And it's totally fascinating to me. Plus, for some strange reason, if I'm having an insomniac night, if I turn that on and just watch him walk around and film people and stuff and watch the people interact with each other and stuff in the marketplace and, the temples and stuff, about 20 minutes later, I'll fall asleep. So that's it for the 10 channels that I like to watch the most on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe you'll even be inspired to check out one of them yourself. So I think I'm going to go sit outside now that I've cooled down because it's too nice not to be outdoors today. So I'm going to go sit outside with my wine and try and finish my book. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday. Until I see you the next time, be safe, live well, and thanks as always for tuning in. Bye.